What's up, guys? It is me, Mad Samurai 84. Here we are. It's October, which means we have fresh games, and which means there is a new video for PS Plus plays that I will be doing. And in these videos, I'll be looking over the games we've gotten for October 2022. We've got 3 new games, 2 PS4 games, and 1 PS4/PS5 game. I'm basically just been doing the same format I've been doing recently. I've just played through them all and just kind of amalgamated and put my thoughts on each one. So each one I'll be giving a thumb score, whether I think it's a good game and whether I think it's a good offering, and then I'll be doing an overall look at the month and then giving an overall score for the month. So, with that done, please like and subscribe to the channel, and let's start with our first game. Now, we start off the month with Injustice 2. This was released in May 2017, and we actually got the first Injustice game, the whatever it was called, the Gods Among Us, whatever. Yeah, Gods Among Us, that's correct. We got that on PS Plus all the way back in December 2014. And I personally played through the story part of it and just left it at that. Now, after nearly 8 years from that, and from over 5 years from the release of this, we get this second installment of DC's non-Gorefest Mortal Kombat game. For me personally, the game has it has really good story mode. The cutscenes look great, the character designs are awesome, and the special move scenes are just superb. But I kind of suck at the game, and that was really clear on the day when I decided to play a ranked match. I was destroyed in mere moments. It was just it wasn't even funny on my side. It was just like, oh wow, this is just a little bit unbalanced in a way. Didn't seem fair, but I'll get onto that a bit more a bit later. But if you've played like a Mortal Kombat game, or even the first Injustice game, then this will control and be very similar to you. If not, if you have something that you can easily jump into and enjoy and master, really. So it's familiar to you if you've played that type before. If not, you can kind of get into it and have some sort of enjoyment. Other than the enjoyable story mode, you have the standard fighting game modes, and then they've added this thing called the multiverse mode. Is where you just basically do lots of fights against numerous opponents to get cash and unlockables, really. And it kind of like the difficulty level kind of raises up, so you have to kind of level up your character, really. And as you level up and then you kind of unlock more items, you kind of get items which you can kind of customize your character with. But we'll go back to that. But where I find this game gets interesting, but really makes the game comes slightly off the rails, especially for online matches. Like, as you unlock, through your playtime, you unlock items of clothing and abilities, which you will in turn kind of boost your character stats, like in your health, defense, strength, and ability. While it's quite cool at first thought, you can really make it through. And if you're an experience for a newbie trying to play matches online, just have a bit of fun. As for my personal experience, the person I played had like well over double my stats, and I had no hope, no matter how skillful or unskillful I may be. It was literally about 2-3 hits and my health bar was easily below halfway. It was just literally like bang bang bang, it was done. But it is kind of cool that you can get these attachments and new things and slightly change your abilities, upgrade yourself in a way, but it does make it a little bit unbalanced and kind of unfair, and you really have to grind at it. So it's kind of a little bit hard for new people just to jump in and play it online and wherever you're kind of like being on the kind of level playing field doesn't doesn't make it fair in a way. But you know, if you've grinded and all that stuff, and you've got all these cool outfits, because the guy I was fighting had a super cool outfit. But you know, when that happens, it kind of makes you either not want to bother playing online, as the level playing ground has been taken away from you, which I think for fighting games is rather important. Or it's gonna make you want to grind, but are you gonna want to do that? I'm not too sure. But for me, this game shines in the story mode, and I definitely will be playing through to the end on this one. But outside of this, I don't see me playing anything else on it. I'll probably just be playing through the story part, and because it is good, you know, I thought it was quite good, and you know, it is an enjoyable game. It is not too bad, but when you kind of think about it, you're like, why can't they just do the gore fest like Mortal Kombat? And yeah, I know DC's like, oh no, you can't do this to the characters, but kind of, you'd probably rather play Mortal Kombat and have the gore fest. But yeah, it is what it is. But when you look at its Metacritic, it sits at an 87, so it's kind of scored pretty high, and I can probably see why it's scored well, because it does play very well. It has got a very good story mode. The special ability cutscenes are excellent. The character designs are great. The whole thing with the kind of multiverse, oh, that's interesting. It's like a whole new challenge. You know, it is a grind and all that. All the whole customization, yeah, that is quite good and intuitive. But it does make it slightly a bit unbalanced online, especially for newcomers now. And its user score, it got an 8, so it's scored pretty well with scored very highly with users. So it kind of, everything is balanced. Now, that's the Metacritic scores. Now I'm going to give my thumb scores. Now the game score. Now originally I was going to go with a 3/4 of a thumb up, and I thought, yeah, because it is a good game. But I'm torn between. It's kind of in between, but I'm probably going to go with a thumb in the middle. Basically because there's no gore. I want the Mortal Kombat gore. It is a really good game, but there's no Mortal Kombat gore, and I would rather play the new Mortal Kombat 11 over this, just to see the gore and the finishing moves. And I think that's what it's lacking, is finishing moves at the end. You do have your cool special abilities, which, you know, are very easy to pull off. Just press the R2, L2 buttons, push, there you go, bomb. But I would like to see some finishing moves. But hey ho, that's just me. Now, an offering score, well, you know what? It's a 5-year-old game. It is. And the problem is that this is on, depending what tier of PS Plus you've got. If you've just got the standard tier, then you're like, oh yeah, this is alright. But if you've got the full tier, where you've got the game PS Now, whatever it's called, the medium tier, that's on there really. So it's just a bit pointless in a way. So I'm going to give this a thumbs down as an offering score, because I feel like if they're going to give us games that are as PS Plus, they shouldn't really be on the other PS Plus part. Really, it should be an extra. Is that just me? I don't know. That's what I think. So game score, thumb in the middle. Offering score, thumb down. It's still a good game. I still advise you to play it, but you know, this is my personal opinion. Now, our second game for October is Superhot. This was released in July 2017, so we got another over 5-year-old game. Now, personally, this isn't my first dance with Superhot. I bought the bundle version to play the VR version of the game, and I don't think I've had as much fun playing a VR game than with Superhot VR. That is truly outstanding. I personally have so much fun with it. I've spent hours just I spent a whole evening just playing it, sweating it out, and over the next few days just having so much fun playing it. It is so much fun. But this is the non VR version, which is still good, but the VR version for me is so good that playing this after kind of makes it not as enjoyable, which is a shame because it is a very good game. It's very well, just what they've done is very special. But it's close to what I would call a FPS bullet time puzzle game. You have to take out the enemies without dying and using what's around you and to be the last one standing. So you have to go there, pick up something, throw it, catch a gun or start with a gun, try shoot people, this and that. Yeah, it is a very fun game, and I like this version. But I implore you that if you have a VR headset and you haven't played the VR version, do it now. You will not be disappointed. It's a lot of fun. But in the end, this game is highly innovative, which was, I feel like, surpassed by a country mile by Superhot VR. You know, it controls well, it plays well. It is tough. You really have to really look, and you will die a few times on levels. You get in and you have to see what's going on with you, and then the good thing is it's because everything's moving slow, so you've got time to react. So, like, all right, pick this up, throw it. They've got this, catch it, throw it, shoot it, or whatever it may be. But it is really fun. But for me, the VR version is more enjoyable personally. But when you look at its Metacritic score, it sits at an 83, which, you know what, I understand it. 83 is pretty good. Its user score sits at a 7.3, so it didn't score as highly with actual users. But it's quite funny when you look at the VR version. The VR version's Metacritic is actually lower. It sits at a 75, but its user score is slightly higher at 7.7. Like for me, I feel like the VR version is much better. You know, you're not like really like walking around the stages as you do in the previous one. Well, in the original one, but was so much more fun for me personally playing it in VR, and it's still a really good game. And yeah, you could kill a lot of time going through it just off of what they've done. They've done a great game. It it's simple graphically, but it is perfect for what it is. It controls well. The gameplay is great. What they've done with the whole bullet time, moving slowly and figuring out where people are, because you kind of have to look, because people move, your enemies come at different angles and they all have different weapons, and it's so much fun. So for my thumb scores for this, I'm going to give a game score. Well, I think it like it's a really good game. The VR one is top tier for me, but I'm going to give this a game score of a 3/4 thumb up, and an even offering score of a thumb in the middle, just because it's a 5+ year old game. I feel like they probably should have given us the standard one and the VR one. That probably would have been a good bundle. I already had it, but hey ho. But I feel if they gave it as both, that would have been really good. That it would have got people, if they've never played the Superhot VR but they have a VR headset, that would have been good. You can got that one for people who don't have a VR headset. All done, all good, perfect, all sorted. So yeah, I feel like that is a fair scoring. Now on to our last title, our last game for October 2022. And we've got Hot Wheels Unleashed. This was only released September last year, September 2021. And I have to say, here we go again. Another title I have recently purchased, but I have yet to jump into. Luckily, I got it for a steal, got it at a good price, so I'm not too bothered. But like when I first saw this game before I had bought it, I was just like, not for me. Then I saw it at a great price and decided to have a little look into it and saw the gameplay, saw the reviews, and thought, oh, okay, yeah, I'll buy it. I'll buy into this. All right. I wasn't bothered by it, but now you've kind of got me into it. But now I've finally played it, I have to say this is a very fun game to play. There are lots of cars, and well, yeah, we have to unlock them, of course, and they all look awesome. The tracks are fun, and how they have designed each level is excellent. It's really making you feel like you've shrunk down to like a 1/64th like scale size and you're driving around someone's living room, really. Now with every game it's rather simple what you have to do, and that is basically just come first in the race. So there isn't really anything different with this game compared to like other track races, but with their with their awesome Lego and a really awesome track creation, where you can make some great tracks and you can finally have all the pieces you need to create like a monster track you've always envisioned as a child, but always not having enough track. But you've got everything, but you have to unlock things as well. You don't have it all to start with. You have to kind of race through, and you unlock a lot of cool stuff. But there is a lot of cool ideas I've seen people have done, and it's really really cool. And with the way the game like presents itself, it does remind me of the old days of like playing like the Micro Machines games, but this is obviously looks great and plays great. And obviously they did play great for their time. I don't think their recent one was supposed to be that good, but it kind of gives me slightly vibes of that. The only disappointing thing for me about this game really is that I kind of already had it in my collection, but with like over 120 cars, vehicles to unlock, and like 40 plus different tracks, there's plenty of meat on the bone, and it is easily you can enjoy it. Like, I'm a fan of arcade style racing, and this is a great addition to that racing genre. Also, I feel like this is something which like parents can probably play with their kids because of what it is, Hot Wheels. Yeah, the kids might not be great at. They'll probably whip you, but because of the theme. But it's also something that like normal adults can really enjoy. I feel like because it kind of plays very well, and it's actually quite fun. Really, I'm very 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 digging it. Really, doing the races. I've recently like finished platinum Dirt 5. And for me personally, I am gonna kind of like really kind of get into this, but I don't really want to play much of a racing game at the moment because that took up a bit of time over a period. and I've kind of been solidly playing it for a bit, trying to get that platinum. But so I don't really kind of want to jump back into a full racer yet. I probably want to play some more story-driven game and then probably play a bit more of this. But it's definitely something, and it's not that big of a file, so I can't really complain there. But yeah, it controls great, it looks great, it plays great, I think, which is the most important thing. And it's actually good. I've been playing, I played a little bit online, and it's fun and chaotic. And just all the cars. You have to see the cars. They've got some hilarious looking cars they've got from their vault, from the Hot Wheels vault. So there's some toaster looking cars. There's this car. They've got so many different cars. I saw a Turtles van, but I didn't have enough coins to unlock it at the time, which was annoying. But when you look at its Metacritic, we'll shoot off the PS4 version, even though I'm playing the PS5 one. The PS4 got a 74, and its user score sits at a 7. Which is pretty good. It's pretty solid. The PS5 version scored slightly better, sitting at a 75, and it scored a bit more with the users as well at a 7.6. So all above, pretty much close and same. It's pretty much a kind of quite solid game, but everyone's thinking, it's not like the greatest racer, of course, because it is Hot Wheels. It's what it is, but it's very solid for what it is. So. If we do my thumb scores, I would go with for a game score. I think it's definitely worth a 3/4 of a thumb up for a game score, because there's a lot here, a lot of enjoyment to have. You can easily jump in, jump out, whatever you want. So 3/4 of a thumb up for game score is definitely a good one. Now an offering score, well, I think this is a really good one. It's just a little bit over a year old, and I think they've given us a pretty good offering here, really. So I'm going to give an offering score of a full thumb up. Really, I think it's definitely worth it. Definitely have to kind of add it on to your hard drive and give it a go, because it's definitely worth having a blast at it. And now we have gone through and spoken about all three games, and I've given my scores. We should do an overall look for October 2022 and give some scores for the month. So first off, we had Injustice. Good game, but not enough gore, and I think it was a few years too late, maybe. Really, I think they could have given us probably some other fighter that probably would have been better off giving us Mortal Kombat 11, probably, even that's on the PS4 version is on the whatever they're calling it, the PS Now. So I gave that a game score of a thumb in the middle and an offering score of a thumb down. And then our second game, Superhot, of course, another 5-year-old plus game, but you know what, that's really good, very kind of innovative game, to be honest. A game score of a 3/4 of a thumb up, and I thought, even though it's similar to the other one in age, I thought it was probably a slightly better offering, so I gave an offering score of a thumb in the middle. And then finally, Hot Wheels Unleashed, great game, very fun. Game score 3/4 thumb up, offering score whole thumb up. So with that in mind, how would I score overall for the month of October? Well, I think overall game score, I think it was a pretty good month of the games, really. I think they're the pretty solid games we've got. So I would give a 3/4 of a thumb up score for that. Now the offering score, I'm going to go probably a little bit lower, really, even though they are technically all good offerings, but probably something probably a little bit fresher. Probably should have been a bit more put our way, and probably games that weren't on the premium tier. Is it premium? I think it's premium, where you get all the games, because that's I just find that personally annoying. Because if you've got those ones, it's like, well, I've got access to this. Why do you have to give it to me? Meh. So I gave an offering. Going to give an offering score of a thumb in the middle for the month, really. But you know, overall, an alright. It's not totally terrible. They could have given us better offerings. They have given us good games in the offerings, but the offerings could have been slightly better. I would have liked to kind of been giving a offering score of 3/4 of a thumb up minimum. But hey ho, could have been a lot worse. It could have been. Could have just been Farming Simulator, and that would have just, no matter what the other two games were, if they gave it that, it would have been a terrible month. God, that was dark days. What was it, 2 years ago? Oh God, I don't want to think about it. That game was horrible. Anyway, that's it for the month. We've played through the games, and yeah. Let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think of this month? Did you like all the games? Do you think they were good offerings from Sony? Yeah, let me know what you think. Please like and subscribe to this channel, and hopefully I'll have some more content for you guys. So I shall see you soon. Take care and goodbye.